So we have already discussed about the solid state physics, introduction to your solid state physics, and these are some examples. We know what is the different kinds of solids, crystalline and amorphous, and these are some example like your quartz, galena and pyrite. These are the crystalline phases. So mainly solid is nothing but where your atoms or molecules they are bound by very strong force between them, and the crystalline solids and amorphous solid there are mainly two categories according to their structure and arrangement of atoms. So first see, the crystalline solids or crystals have distinctive internal structures that in turn lead to distinctive flat surfaces or faces. The faces intersect at angles that are characteristics of the substance. So when it is exposed to X-rays, its structure may produce distinctive pattern that can be used to identify the material. So main thing is that in a crystal, the atoms or molecules they are regularly arranged among themselves in a three-dimensional space. So, the regular repeating arrangement of the components, atoms, molecules, or ions in space. When ionic crystals is reversed, that is given in the figure. See, so this is a structure in which molecules, atoms, they are arranged. Here in this figure, it is given as 1, 2, 1, 2, and these are given by red and blue balls. So this is the plane, the line at the plane at which these two layers of atoms they interact with each other. So this is your cleavage plane. So whenever any kind of external force like heat energy or electric field or magnetic field or any kind of stress is applied, in the second figure you can see that there is a displacement of the layer of atoms. So what is the difference between first and second? The interaction between the molecules or atoms or in an ionic compound along a plane of the ions, they changed in the second figure due to the stress. The interaction between 1 and 2 is no more in the second one. So sometimes there is some repulsion between two same kind of charges are they as they are ionic in nature. If same charges will repel each other, so there may be a change in the structure. So crystals tend to have relatively sharp, well-defined melting points because all the component atoms, molecules or ions are the same distance from the same number and type of neighbors. That is, the regularity of the crystalline lattice creates local environment that are the same. Thus, the intermolecular forces holding the solid together are uniform, and the same amount of thermal energy is needed to break every interaction simultaneously. See, the arrangement of atoms is regular, they are periodically arranged. That means the structure, whatever may be the number of infinitely many number of atoms or molecules are in contact, but the interaction, the structure, the geometry that is uniform throughout the space. So, we need a very large amount of force in order to break this interaction, and the intermolecular force holding the solid together that should be uniform. So we need same amount of thermal energy. If we give any kind of external energy to this, that will give you the same energy to break the interaction. But in case of amorphous solid, say amorphous solid has mainly two characteristics properties. When it is cleaved or broken, they produce fragments with irregular, often curved surfaces, and they have poorly defined patterns. See, whenever we are cutting a crystal, we can find a very sharp lines. We can find a very sharp lines. Those cannot be, those are repeated again and again, those are uniform and repeated again and again. But if you see, if you got a amorphous solid, we cannot see this kind of solid lines, this kind of regular lines, that maybe it is a super cool liquid actually. So an amorphous translucent solid is called a glass. Almost any substance can solidify in amorphous form if the liquid phase is cooled rapidly enough. That means the highest uh, heated version of the liquid, that is called your uh, amorphous solid, and some solids however are intrinsically amorphous because they are, either their components cannot fit together well enough to form a stable crystalline lattice or they contain impurities. बट देख जमीक क्रिस्टाल को भांगिले आम कि लाइन्स देखा पर्टिकुलर लाइन्स देखा कि स्ट्रक्चर्स देखा एंड दो स्ट्रक्चर्स रिपीटेड अगेन एंड अगेन. But in amorphous case, this is not like that. You will see different lines, different geometry, different cutting again and again. So, stable crystalline solid they contain impurities that disrupt the lattice. For example, any kind of structural units of quartz crystal. But in case of amorphous solid, the local environment, including both distances to the neighboring units and the number of neighbors, varies throughout the materials. So, different amounts of thermal energy are needed to overcome these different interactions. Consequently, amorphous solid tend to soften slowly over a wide temperature range. See, जेहेतु amorphous irregular arrangement of atoms होता है थ्रू आउट डिफरेंट डिफरेंट जगार जब डिफरेंट अरेंजमेंट होता है इफ इट इज नॉट रेगुलर इन अरेंजमेंट देन वी कैन से दैट yes different amount of energy is needed in different space in order to break the interaction. So the external energy to break the interaction may be different but in crystal that is uniform. If an amorphous solid is maintained at a temperature just below the melting point for long periods of time, the component molecules or atoms can gradually rearrange into a more highly ordered crystalline form. So, most importantly, in crystalline there is a sharp melting and boiling point, but in amorphous there is no sharp and boiling and melting points. These are the basic difference between crystalline and amorphous solid. Look at the first point. Crystals have an orderly arrangement of their constituent particles. In comparison, amorphous have no such arrangement. Obviously, in crystal we got a particular regular arrangement in three-dimensional space, but in amorphous there is no such kind of arrangement, and the particles are randomly organized. In the second point, crystals have a specific geometrical shape with definite edges. Amorphous solids have no geometry in their shapes. Crystal ro gote particular specific geometry thai, but amorphous ro no thai. It is like a powder like substance. So we cannot say that what is the exact geometry. Powder ro gote exact geometry thai ki? It consists of very small dust like particles. They do not have particular geometrical shapes. The third point, crystalline solids have a sharp melting point on which they will definitely melt. An amorphous solid will have a range of temperature over which it will melt but no definite temperature as such. See, because crystallines are regularly arranged, so you need a particular uniform temperature throughout the system. So it contain a particular amount of temperature. That means suppose boiling point, whatever may be the substance, whatever may be the amount, but it has a particular fixed temperature at which it will boil. But in amorphous the arrangement is different, the arrangement is not uniform. So in a different region different temperature will lead to break the interaction. So a range of temperature will required and will maybe its melting or boiling point. Next point, crystals have a long order arrangement of their particles. This means the particles will show the same arrangement indefinitely, and amorphous solids have a short order arrangement. Their particles show a lot of variety in their arrangement. In crystal there is only particular long range arrangement, that means बहुत distance पर्यंत up to a long distance the arrangement will maintain, but in amorphous solid that order that is very short. Crystalline solid cleavage along particular point and direction, amorphous solid cleavage into uneven parts with ragged edges, because see गोटे crystal को जदि आमे कट करूचे that will give you sharp edges, but amorphous will not give any kind of sharp edges, or it will give an uneven part with ragged edges. Crystals are also known as true solids, whereas another name for amorphous solid is supercooled liquid, because when the liquid is supercooled, that will that may be a amorphous, but that is not crystal. Crystal is something regular, amorphous is not regular, and it is supercooled liquid. So these are the basic difference between crystal and amorphous solid. Then again we will introduce different terms which are used frequently in the solid state physics, and without this we cannot enter into the structure of the solid. See, one is your lattice, another one is your basis. गोटे सिंपल एग्जांपल देकी तुमको बुझे पारिबी. कंसीडर आवर बॉडी एंड whenever your body degrade, one body is degrade, at last what it will give? It will give a structure, that is your skeleton, isn't it? Similarly गोटे skeleton उपरे जेमती फ्लैक्स ए सब लागी कि तमर पूरा बॉडीटा तैयारी होची, सेमिति किछि किछि गोटे स्ट्रक्चर उपरे बेस करके एंटायर क्रिस्टल स्ट्रक्चरटा तैयारी हो पारुची. So what is lattice? Lattice is a hypothetical regular and periodic arrangement of points in space. It is used to describe the structure of the crystal, and it is actually in three dimensional, because if we are consider the solid state physics, it should be uh, considered in three dimensional only. Here the figure are given in the two dimensional, but in actual they are in three dimensional. If we consider the Cartesian coordinate system, the molecules orientation, their direction, everything is oriented in x, y and z direction. So as I discussed the structure part, like your the main important basic structure. So in order to give a particular structure to the crystal, we need to first define the particular structure or a regular arrangement of space at first. So this space, this hypothetical regular periodic arrangement of points in space, you can see that the black dots, these are nothing, there is no atoms or molecules at all, these are some space, these are defined as in points at particular space. And the main important thing is that the consecutive distance between two neighboring points, they are same. Between two neighboring points, they are same everywhere. From any direction you can see that the distance between 2 points, that is same. So that means they are regular. And if it is extended into three dimensional, that will completely give you a structure for the 3D crystal lattice. So these combination of hypothetical regular periodic arrangement of points in space are called your lattice. Then again another term, that is your basis. The basis is a collection of atoms in particular fixed arrangement in space. So a basis of a single atom as well as a basis of a complicated but fixed arrangement of hundreds of atoms. See, khali ame just say regular arrangement of space define kale hobani. We have to put atoms or molecules at that point. Not only the space is sufficient, we have to place atoms and molecules at this point, because the entire crystal structure, they constitute infinitely many atoms. So ultimately atom is the main basic part, and based on this structure, on this frame, your total entire crystal structure will be defined. So this basis, why this is basis? Because say point say atom को base करके total crystal structure तैयारी करा जाई पारुछि. So the basis is a collection of atoms. So next look at the second figure. This basis is given in by the red and yellow dot, because this is a combination of two molecules, and this is given by a particular orientation. You can see that one red dot is there and yellow dot is just present at the neighbor at a particular left hand side. So this will give the orientation, that means the two atoms, they inclined at a fixed angle in plane. Look at the third figure. You can see a combination of black, yellow and red dots. The black dots are the lattice points, lattice base only. The red and yellow, these are the molecules or atoms. They are placed at that lattice point. Initially we first frame the space, then we keep the atom at this particular space. So now we can remove the lattice points, the black dots. Then we will see at the next figure we only see arrangement of atoms. This is in the two dimensional, but if it will be extended to three dimensional, that is give your entire crystal structure. So the crystal structure is nothing but your lattice plus basis, the space for the regular arrangement, and placing the basis atoms or molecules at this space, that will give you the entire crystal structure. See, this can also be defined mathematically. How? We are studying the atoms, molecules at a particular space. Again I am saying the molecules or atoms, they are oriented at a particular direction. So that means space means that there is some position vector, and two atoms and they are oriented at a particular direction, that means something related to the direction. So if the position and direction are defined, are given, then that will also be defined by our mathematically, because some quantities, some vector quantities are there, and that is nothing but a combination of scalar as well as direction vector, and that will give you the mathematical form of your lattice translation throughout the three-dimensional space. So see, this T is equal to UA plus VB plus WC. Here A, B, C are the vectors. Why we have given vectors? That means there is a regular arrangement of atoms. But if is there any kind of external field, any kind of force, they starts moving in any random direction. They starts translate. Yes, there are mainly three kinds of motion, and in mechanics also we have already studied translational, rotational and vibrational. We are considering here by using the Cartesian coordinate system x, y, z, translational motion of the atoms or molecules. So this A, B, C are the corresponding vectors along x, y, z, and U, V, W are the corresponding scalars. That means they will show you how much distance they travel from their respective reference point. These are some integers. These are actually the scalar part, and A, B, C are the translational vector parts. So this is called your translational vector. T is equal to UA plus VB plus WC. So if we start from a particular position, we start the translation from a particular position at which the position vector is r, initially it is r, and after some translational motion it will reach at another lattice point, that is r dash. Then how we define r dash? R dash is equal to r plus t. Your r is the initial position vector plus t is your translation vector. So putting the value of t, r dash is equal to r plus ua vb plus wc, where a, B, C are the primitive translation vectors or basis vectors, because they start their motion from the reference point, from their basic part, from their lattice space. So A, B, C are the primitive translation vectors or basis vectors which form the primitive cell of the lattice, and U, V, W are the integers that will show you the scalar part by which the atoms or molecules displaced from their initial reference point, how much distance they cover, not displacement, how much distance they covered in x, y and z direction. So for this time today we will discuss this much only. Further we will discuss more about lattice and basis and the combination of lattice and basis, crystal structure, unit cell and many more.